Hi YouTube. I'm continuing the build of my Wasr 1063 here. I've added a couple of things since the last time you saw this. One of the things that I did get in is I told you I was going to order a front handguard that was a bulged front handguard from Russia. I did get that in. It's finished. I've got it installed. I'm holding off on putting the pistol grip on at this time, and I've actually ordered a wood pile blim from Ironwood Designs for the stock, and I'll explain why I did that in a minute. Anyway, this is how the handguard turned out. That's a Russian-made bulged handguard, and you can see that it looks quite a bit better than the original factory Wasr handguard. I also refinished it in this tung oil finish and done it in the Russian red so that it looks like a Russian-style rifle. Now, I mentioned that I went ahead and ordered a different wood stock for it. When I ordered the pistol grip, that pistol grip is actually going to be I believe it was a Yugoslavian pistol grip, but it looks just like the standard Russian wood pistol grip. And since it is an import pistol grip and I'm replacing the American-made one, I have to account for another American-made part, and that's where the Ironwood design comes in. It's an American company. You can order these things as blims. You can pick up a stock for about $12 plus shipping. Normally, those stocks from Ironwood are about $55 a piece. But I went ahead and ordered one of those for a couple of reasons. First of all, I really like the side sling mount that you can't get on a standard Wasr rifle. So I went ahead and ordered the other stock to add one 922 compliant part, plus to add that sling mount. And I got about $30 tied up in that stock. It'll be here in a few days. But today what we're going to talk about is a couple of little additions that you can do to your rifle, and they're very easy to order in and very easy to install. One of which is this little jewel here. This is a little recoil buffer. It's only 1/4 inch thick. It goes down inside the action of the rifle, and it allows the action to cycle and prevents a lot of recoil and help. It makes the rifle a little easier and a little softer to shoot. Now, there's a couple of different brands of these things. This particular one I ordered directly from Blackjack Buffers. I've got one in my Sega. I've never had an issue with it. It functions perfectly fine. Blackjack swears that they will last about 5,000 rounds. But now there's another company out there that makes one of these things. It's about 1/2 inch thick, and it looks like it's made out of some kind of nylon. I've heard of issues with those where they actually will short cycle and won't allow the gun to function like it's supposed to. But here's how they install. It actually installs on the spring assembly and goes right here. The spring slides through here. It fits inside there so that when the action comes back, it bumps up against this buffer instead of slamming against the trunnion in the back of the bolt carrier. So I'm going to go ahead and install this so that you can see just how simple it is to put them in. This was another selling point of the Blackjack brand. The other one that I mentioned that was about 1/2 inch thick and causes problems, that particular one, you actually have to take the recoil spring apart in order to put it on. And I don't know if you've ever done that, but you've got a little keeper right here. You got to take that loose and take the springs and everything. It's kind of cantankerous. You'll see a little cutout right here. You slide that over the top of the spring, slide it on down, just like that. Bolts right back in. Ping, pang. There it is. It's done. That quick. Another addition that I've decided to do is I'm going to replace the original factory hammer and trigger spring retainer for the pins. Now this one here is actually not a bad design. I'll pull that out. This one's not a bad design because it actually locks in exactly the same way as the retainer that I'm going to replace it with. but I had already ordered one before I ever got the rifle in, and I didn't know what kind of spring they had. The one in my Sega, oh my gosh, it's like a Chinese puzzle to put that thing in. But that's it. That's a pretty simple little device in the way it works. The replacement one works very similar in the same way. It's just basically a little flat piece of spring steel, and that's it. Goes down inside here just like so. You want to make sure your pins are seated. Goes down in there like that. It's easier said than done. There you go. And again, make sure your springs are seated. You have to understand I'm doing this with one hand. There you go. Oops. Alright, I'm going to set this down for a minute here so I can use both my hands, because it's getting a little tough. There we go. Slide that in. Make sure that that seats. Okay, now that went in. Make sure that that seats in. And you can see how it sits down in there. It sits flat, flush, right up against the side of the receiver, just like the original one. Take your, this is your safety lever. Take and work it in there. Like that. Pull your trigger. Slide that down. There it's in. And that's it. Simple, easy to put in, and they're fairly inexpensive. I think the little clip was about $5. The blackjack buffer was about $15 shipped to the house, so $20 total for those two components. And what you end up with is a rifle that's easier to maintain, because you can pull these guts out of here and replace them fairly easily and quickly. Plus, with the advent of the buffer on this thing, the gun's going to cycle a lot smoother. It's not going to be as hard to hit. And also, if you've got if your wife likes to shoot, it doesn't kick as hard as what women don't like to see. They don't really like a hard kicking gun, and this helps to buffer that out a little bit. Well, hope you enjoyed it. We're going to continue to make more videos as we build this rifle up. I'm going to go through and make another one of 922R compliance. Go through the list of the thing. We're also going to, like I mentioned, we're going to eventually take this bolt out, and I'm going to go through and bead blast it and polish it, because there's some burrs on it and everything. You want to get those burrs off. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Over and out.